How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. The Bill Russell Finals MVP Award, a prestigious award for the most valuable player in the NBA Finals, named after the greatest winner of all professional sports, the legendary Mr. Bill Russell, one of the best teammates and most unselfish players the game of basketball will ever see. Mr. Russell played in the 50s and 60s, way before many of our times. His greatness and impact often gets forgotten amongst the future generations. Most of us have not been born to see him play. The Finals MVP Award, first given out in 1969, Russell's final NBA season. When we talk about Finals MVPs, Michael Jordan was the most with 6. But have you ever wondered how many Bill Russell would have had if the award was a thing for his entire career? Today, we'll take a look at every NBA Finals Bill Russell played in, go through all the series and factor in to see how many Finals MVPs Bill Russell would have won in all his years in the NBA Finals. Since there's not a lot of footage and only highlights, if I was able to watch all those finals tape, if they existed, I absolutely would. But since the eye test gives a stronger perspective than just looking at box scores, there's just way too little footage of the 60s. So we'll have to depend mostly on box scores to make our decisions in how many Finals MVPs Bill Russell would have won. Starting in 1957, Russell's rookie season, drafted by the St. Louis Hawks, the great Red Auerbach made the best decision for the Celtics, acquiring the 6'10 center out of the University of San Francisco, two-time collegiate champion, a 5-game improvement, a 44-28 record as the 1 seed. Russell's teammate Tom Heinsohn took home Rookie of the Year honors due to Russell missing 24 games, played a tough 7-game series with the St. Louis Hawks. Heinsohn averaged 24 points, 12.6 rebounds on over 40% shooting, while Russell, the 4th leading scorer, put up 13 points, 23 boards on just 36%. Guards Bill Sharman and Bob Cousy over 20 apiece. Cousy 9 assists, while Pettit for the Hawks averaged over 30 and 18. In the pivotal Game 5, Cousy had 21 points, 19 assists, Russell 14 and 23, while Heinsohn 23 and 8. The deciding Game 7 went to double overtime down to the wire. One of the most forgotten great games were called by Tommy Heinsohn, who absolutely balled out, scored a game-high 37 points, grabbed 23 big rebounds, shot 17 of 33 from the field, while the backcourts of Cousy and Sharman a combined 5 of 40 shooting. Russell meanwhile 19 points, 32 rebounds in the deciding game where 220 plus point scorers struggled. Cousy just a dozen, Sharman with 9. The rookie Heinsohn saved the day by netting in his playoff career high, scoring 18 more points than Russell. Under a minute late, Russell scored a bucket, followed by an insane rejection on Jack Coleman, one of the most forgotten blocks in NBA history. Sharman missed a potential game winner in the first overtime. Pettit had a chance to tie after a full court pass hit the backboard, missed the shot. Given the results of the finals, Russell, the defensive anchor on the team, while Heinsohn had a James Worthy type Game 7 of the 88 finals where he scored his playoff high in the deciding Game 7 of the finals. I would give the slight Finals MVP edge to Heinsohn, although Russell can have an argument given his clutch defense. 1958, Celtics fell to the same Hawks in 6 games. Russell suffered an ankle injury Game 3, played 4 of these 6 games, resulting in the Hawks winning Game 5 and 6 by 1 possession. 1959, Russell's second championship, the 1 seed 52-20 record, played number 2 Minneapolis Lakers, a 4-0 sweep. Heinsohn once again leading scorer, 24.3 points, 9 rebounds. Frank Ramsey 22.5 points, Bill Sharman 22.5 as well, all 3 similar in shooting percentages. Cousy just 31% from the field, but nearly averaged a triple-double, 17, 8, and 13. Russell in fact the 7th leading scorer, 9.3 points, but grabbed 29.5 rebounds, 5.3 assists, second on the team in dimes. First game, Russell 28 boards, shot just 2 of 11, 5 points, 6 other Celtics in double-figure scoring. Russell went just 2 of 11 in Game 2, 4 Celtics scoring 20 plus that game, while Cousy 23 points, 19 assists Game 3. I would have given the award to Heinsohn, being the highest scorer and having the best shooting percentages these finals. Sharman had a strong case as well, so did Cousy with his high assist numbers. Russell wasn't that efficient offensively. 1960 finals against St. Louis for the 3rd time, a 7-game series. The numbers: Tom Heinsohn 22.4 points, 9.7 rebounds, number 1 scorer for Boston. Bill Sharman over 19, 18, Frank Ramsey over 18 and 7, Russell 17 and 25 on 47% shooting, Kuzi 14 points, 10 dimes, but just 31% from the field, Sam Jones 10 a game, 7 Celtic Hall of Famers on this roster, 4 Hall of Famers for the Hawks. In the deciding Game 7, Russell, not known for his high scoring, put up 22, held Pettit to just 22. Big Bill grabbed a game-high 35 rebounds in a 122-103 blowout win, avenged his previous finals loss to the Hawks from 2 seasons before because he was hurt that series. Being fully healthy this time, Russell left no indication his Celtics the more superior team, especially when he's on the floor. Russell, clearly one of the best players in the NBA, finished second in regular season MVP behind Wilt Chamberlain, Russell's 3rd championship by age 26. No doubt he would have clearly won Finals MVP this year. The 1960 NBA Finals was the last time an NBA Finals game was played in the month of March, the first 2 games. 1961, the Boston Dynasty really began to take form, 57-22 record overall against St. Louis again, and Bob Pettit, an easy 5-game series for Boston. The regular season MVP won the award over Pettit. Boston won between 9 to 34 points in the 4 wins. St. Louis's only win was by 4. Russell, the leading rebounder, 4 of these games, scored the most for any Celtic player in the closeout, netted in 30 points, went to the line 19 times, had 38 rebounds. Nobody else for Boston scored above 20 in that closeout Game 5. Russell would have been Finals MVP if the award was a thing in 61. This would have given Bill Russell multiple Finals MVPs at age 27. Only players to have done it at that age, Tim Duncan and Magic Johnson. 1962. 60-20 Boston. Russell, at the height of his powers, won the MVP over Wilt Chamberlain's 50-point average, over Oscar Robertson's triple-double season. Russell, who turned 28 before the finals, 4th straight title, as clear and away the best player on his team with 4 All-Stars. Russell averaged a ridiculous 23 points in the finals, 27 rebounds, almost 6 assists, 54% shooting. Although the 62 Finals MVP would have had some controversy with the losing Lakers' Elgin Baylor falling in overtime and a missed shot by Frank Sylvie that would have won it for LA, Baylor averaged an insane 40.6 points, 18 rebounds in these finals, including a final single game record, 61 points the 5th game. Baylor in 62, every bit as impressive as Jerry West won the Finals MVP on the losing team in 69. As LA took a 2-1 lead, Russell had 22 points, 22 rebounds, 6 assists Game 4, a triple-double in Game 6 with 19 points, 24 boards, and 10 dimes. Extremely rare for a center to lead his team in assists. To start off elimination, although Elgin had 41 points in Game 7, won just 13 of 40 from the field, Russell had one of his best games, a masterful 30 points, 40 rebounds in the closeout, grabbed nearly half his team's rebounds. Talk about clutchness. Russell, a career 56% free throw shooter, 114 of 17 from the line for 82% Game 7. Big Bill elevating his game in the most important moments earned him a fair right for a Finals MVP if it was a thing in 62. Also would have likely had 10 plus blocks in multiple games. Every other big fouled out for Boston. 4 total players in fact picked up 6 fouls for Boston. For Russell to play all 53 minutes in securing the win shows his greatness, being pushed to the limits and excelling time after time. Although Baylor had the crazy scoring numbers because the Lakers had 2 cracks at winning and came up short, and Russell played his best with his team's backs against the ropes, Bill Russell would have absolutely deserved the 1962 Finals MVP. 1963, Russell knocked off the Lakers in 6, averaged 20 points, 26 rebounds, over 5 assists, the likely Finals MVP again. In the clincher, 12 points, 24 rebounds, and 9 assists. Bob Cousy's final game as a Celtic. Russell also the league MVP, despite Baylor averaging 34 and 15, West nearly 30 a game. The Lakers bigs of Rudy LaRusso and Frank Sylvie held to just 38 and 41% shooting. 1963, Russell just as great as 62, winning his 6th championship by age 29. While in the 64 finals against Chamberlain's Warriors, Russell averaged just 11 points, 25 rebounds, 5 assists, shot under 39% from the field. Chamberlain 29 points, 27.5 rebounds, 52%. All-star teammate Sam Jones averaged over 21 on 56% shooting. Chamberlain averaged 37 points and 22 boards in the regular season. For his scoring to go a little down, and Russell holding the superstar to 30 points on 12 of 28 shooting, the 5th and final game, and Will only scoring scoring 27 in the 4th game loss to Boston. Russell's 64 season could be argued as a similar version to 2014 when Kawhi Leonard wasn't putting up the biggest numbers but won Finals MVP simply by guarding the other team's best player. I would have given Russell the 64 Finals MVP edge mainly because on defense and holding his ground against the most dominant player in the game. If he wasn't on Boston in the Wilt matchup, Chamberlain might have seriously averaged 45 points for the series, although some can argue Sam Jones due to his efficiency. Bill Russell nonetheless the most important player for Boston. This would have given him 5 Finals MVPs. 1965, another showdown with the Lakers, but this time Elgin Baylor didn't play. Hurt after one postseason game, LA depended heavily on superstar Jerry West, while Russell still spectacular, averaged 17.8 points, 25 rebounds, almost 6 assists, shot an insane 70% from the field. For a player to shoot in the mid-40s most of his career, Russell always shows up in the most important games. Would have likely averaged more blocks than assists too. Although Sam Jones scored an impressive 28 a game, Russell's all-around game and facilitating made Boston a much better team. A Game 2 performance of 23 points, 25 rebounds and 10 assists, given Jerry West won an assist title years after, and Russell outdishing West and averaging more assists than anybody else on these Lakers team. In the game clincher, both Sam Jones and Russell scored 22, but Russell 30 rebounds. Pretty evident most of the Finals MVP votes would have gone to Russell. The season he won his 5th regular season MVP, to average 14, 24, and 5 in the regular season to being even better in the finals. Teammate Sam Jones averaged 26, 5, and 3 and was 4th in regular season MVP voting. Not even close to Russell. If there were 11 voters for Finals MVP, at least 6 of the voters would have given it to the 5-time MVP and 11-time champion. This would have given Bill Russell 6 Finals MVPs. 1966, another season of greatness. Russell once again dominated, knocked off the Lakers, even with a healthy Elgin Baylor this time, who was beginning to slow down. LA was clearly Jerry West's team from 65 on. A 7-game series, Russell, Havlicek, and Sam Jones, deadly 3-man combo. Big Bill shot an efficient 54%, a 24 and 24 average, the leading scorer by a hair on Boston, more rebounds than Havlicek, Jones, and Saunders combined, while playing nearly every minute of the series. In a 2-point win in Game 7, Bill Russell simply allergic to losing Game 7s. Russell #1 in crashing the glass every one of these games. Series up 2-1, Russell had a 25-point, 18 rebound Game 4 and a 5-point win. Red Auerbach's last game as a coach, Game 7. His superstars sent him off the right way. Of course, to nobody's surprise, Russell, the best player for Boston, to put up a team-high 25 points and 32 rebounds. Havlicek went just 6 of 21. Jerry West had a 36, 10, and 3 game, not enough, 12 of 27. Baylor shot just 6 of 22. Russell sealed the deal with a powerful slam, put Boston up 10, 30 seconds left. Jerry West deserves credit for not giving up. A jumper plus a steal on Russell, another J, cut it to 6. Boston turnover, Lakers West forced another turnover. Ellis made it a 2-point game, but time simply ran out. Boston survived 95-93 Game 7. Some would make the argument saying West deserves the Finals MVP, despite being on the losing team. To average 34 points on over 51% shooting against the #1 defense is insane, but West also missed 4 free throws in Game 7, while Russell played better than usual. And for being the leader of 8 straight titles and knocking off the Lakers 5 times to 0 in the finals matchups, presumably most of the votes would likely favor Russell over West, although it likely won't be unanimous. This would give Russell 7 finals MVPs, that's 1 more than Michael Jordan. 1967, Russell Celtics lost to Chamberlain Sixers in the Eastern Division Finals. 1968, 54 and 28 record, Chamberlain Sixers the heavy favorites, with Boston a little older, but the greatness of Russell still edged out Chamberlain's squad in 7, came back down 3-1, the first team to ever do so, advanced to the finals against the Lakers again. Teammate John Havlicek and Bailey Howell, the 27 and 21 point scores. Hondo also 9 boards, 7 dimes. Sam Jones a nice 17.5 points. Russell over 17 and 21 along with nearly 6 assists, while West over 31 31-5-5, Baylor above 26-12-4. The fifth game, it was Havlicek's 31-10-8 and Russell's 22-25 to seal the overtime win. The closeout finale, Boston a 124-109 win over LA. Despite Russell also being the head coach, Havlicek had an incredible 40-point, 10 rebound, 7 assists game 6. Russell just 12 points, 19 boards, 6 dimes, and God knows how many blocks. Bailey Howe a 30-11 stat line. Looking by the numbers, many would say Havlicek should deserve Finals MVP, but because Russell was the first ever player coach and making all the decisions for the team, doing 2 jobs at once, being a player at the same time, anchoring the defense while also making all the right offensive plays, it seemed like Boston was finished winning titles after Auerbach retired and getting stomped by Wilt in '67. Russell simply rejuvenated the Celtics, far and away the best defensive player on Boston. Although Havlicek scored a lot more, very debatable, but I would have given Russell that slight edge over Havlicek since his value on both ends, plus making decisions as head coach and the veteran player. If Boston was to lose, Russell would have been the one to blame. If they win, Russell would have deserved more the credit, which he simply should. Looking forward 2 years after, the year after Russell retired, Boston missed the playoffs going 34-48. That's even with John Havlicek playing 81 games in his prime, putting up 24, 8 and 7. Boston went from second in points per game allowed, both in 68 and 69, which goes to show Russell's real impact. This would have given him 8 total Finals MVPs. 1969, Russell's final season, age 35, running on fumes against the heavy favorite Lakers with Wilt, Elgin, and Jerry. Russell averaged just 9 points, 21 rebounds, 5 assists. The first year the Finals MVP took place, Jerry West averaged 38 a game on 49% shooting, with Baylor and Chamberlain being absolute travesties. Hondo's 28-11. The first Finals MVP was Jerry West, but Havlicek also deserved considerations being on the winning team. Russell's final game, 6 points, 21 rebounds, 6 assists. Havlicek scored 26 that game. All in all, 8 total Finals MVPs Bill Russell would have won in my book. To recap, 57, Tom Heinsohn gets the edge slightly over Russell for his amazing 37-point, 23 rebound game 7, making everyone forget about Cousy and Sharman, a combined 5 of 40 shooting. 59, Heinsohn again, put up 24 a game, the most efficient Celtics in the sweep. Russell, the 7th leading scorer on Boston, shot under 32%. 1960, Russell dominated on the glass and defense gives him the edge over Heinsohn and Sharman. 61 is Russell again, averaged 29 rebounds while Pettis shot under 40%. Russell nearly 18 as well. Russell also had better averages in those finals than his regular season when he won MVP. 62 due to his bigs fouling out of Game 7 and holding off West and Elgin in overtime. Having a 30-point, 40 rebound game, Russell also deserved Finals MVP that year. 63, a 20 and 26 stat line, better than his regular season MVP numbers. Despite some of his teammates scoring more, those same teammates also averaged more points in the regular season than Russell, but none of them were even close to being MVP candidates. Advantage Russell. 64, Russell the leading assist man and rebounder while focusing most of his energy to contain prime Wilt, who went from averaging 37 regular season points to just 29 in the finals. Russell deserved Finals MVP. 65, a stat line of 18, 25 and 6, 70% shooting, better than his MVP regular season numbers of 14, 24 and 5. Although Sam Jones averaged 10 more points, Sam averaged 11 more points than Russell in the regular season, but Russell was still the clear MVP. Russell also would have gotten the Finals MVP in 65. 66, Russell again, the best defender and scorer on the team, went from averaging 13 in the regular season to over 23 in the 7 finals games. The 5-time MVP elevated his game, scored 25 in Game 7, absolutely deserving of Finals MVP. While 68 very debatable because he was player coach, still the defensive anchor, Russell out of any Celtic still made the most impact, contributed to winning that title. While 69, West and Havlicek clearly more deserving. All in all, if Finals MVPs existed, drawing every one of Bill Russell's championships and finals appearances, the greatest winner in all of professional team sports would have had 8 Finals MVPs in my calculation: 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, and 68. Although some of these are debatable, it's fair to say any number between 5 at the very least to winning 9 Finals MVPs would have been reasonable. I'm sure if 1,000 of the biggest NBA experts look into it as deeply as I did, Russell at least would have had more than 4, but likely no more than 10. So there you have it. How many Finals MVPs do you guys think Bill Russell would have won? Do you agree with my list with 8? Let me know your reasons why or why not. Thank you so much for watching this video. For those of you who originally didn't have Bill Russell ranked as high on your all-time greats list, did you change your mind after watching this videos? I would love to see your comments below. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, anything basketball that will interest you. So if you love the NBA basketball, hit the subscribe button. I love all of you. See you next time.